Hey, Claudius. You killed my father. Big mistake.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the late night edition of Strictly Art Live, number 80. I'm your host, Rob Wilson. I'm a comic book artist, illustrator, video editor, part-time philosopher, sometimes dabbling in some music when I have time. But who has time, right? I'd like to welcome you tonight. It's a late night edition, this Thursday evening or night, June 5th. 2025. we kick things off here at 22:45 tonight. There were so many things going on. I just had to get busy. And we're going to go down the list of some of the things we're going to cover tonight. This is absolutely crazy. Marvel Tōken Fighting Souls. For those of you that don't know me more than 5 years, I'm a big fighting game fan. I watch every chance I get, and if I have time to play, I'll play. Don't compete like I used to back in the 90s, but fighting games is kind of like my bring up. Arc Systems, the makers of Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ, just released a trailer for Marvel Tōken, a fighting game not made by Capcom. We're going to get into it, okay? Also, I'm going to follow that up with why Marvel's Capcom is dead. Also, we found out that they just announced that Black Panther, T'Challa, Marvel's Black Panther, has a white son, and they fought for the throne. We'll talk about that. And James Gunn, his latest toy is straying away from the ideas of truth, justice, and the American way. The American way. What a shame. Then, I do believe, yeah, that's it. That's enough to make an hour-long show, and we're going to go ahead and get busy. All right? So go ahead and grab your favorite drink, beverage, kick your feet back, and get ready for some insight from this guy, Rob Wilson, on Strictly Art Live tonight. Oh yeah, we're starting like right now. It's going down. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't seen this already.
自由のために戦う。
さあ、お手並み拝見といこう。
Japan Art System for
君のことは親友だと思っているが、やるしかないようだな。
ビブラニウムのシールドだけでは私のアーマーには勝てないぞ。
Even when they talk, like Japanese language goes so hard. Yosh! So detailed. Of course, it's Marvel. She actually looks fun. And she's in it with the fantastic 12-1. Star-Lord's finally
調子が出てきたぜ。俺様の名はスターロード。胸に刻んでおきだ。
Play survivors. Robert Ray. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, baby!
Command grab. Storm.
たとえ人々に嫌われていても、私は世界を守る。さあ、耐えられるかしら。
4 How can you make them roll 10? Oh my god.
正義のために。これが私のとっておきだ。こっちだよ。
4 waist back. Oh my god.
抱かれなさい。せや。
マハラベイベー。
我々のチームワークは絶対に破れない。
マーベル、トーコン、ファイティングソウルズ。
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my God. My goodness in heaven. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a fighting game trailer. That is what you call a grand reveal that just changed the entire game. We knew at some point when Marvel's Capcom Infinite, which was a failed game, it just is. It is what it is. You know, some people like it. I get it. Even, you know, Maximilian Dude invested money into getting it reskinned and readjusted, and now we have this. So, without further ado, we had the memorial. It was apparent before, but let's just go ahead and make it official. That game is a masterpiece to look at already. Who knows how many other characters are going to be in the game? So far, we've only seen 8. You know, enough to make, you know, well, we haven't even seen 8 characters. Star-Lord, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Miss Marvel, that's 5. Storm, that's 6. So far, we've only seen those 6 characters. I do believe. Bear with me. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. So, I could be wrong, like I said, but imagine the roster of characters that are going to be in that game. The crossovers are going to be nuts. And we're already seeing characters that we asked for, that we wanted. Of course, Miss Marvel, I get it. Nobody likes her. But she's there in case somebody wants to play as her. And if you lose to somebody that plays as her, it's even more embarrassing if you don't like her as well. So the rivalry begins, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and make this official. I'd like to go ahead and say it first and foremost. Rest in peace, Marvel's Capcom. You had a good run. We commend you for making it this far. Dragon Ball Fighters did bury Marvel's Capcom. The two were versus each other. It was clearly a distinct. We thank you for your
Here's a present for you. Memorial finish!
But it's time to go ahead and shovel the dirt onto the grave. That time is here. That time is now. With what we just saw. I don't know. You know, let's run it back. Because sometimes we got to make sure we saw what we saw and make sure that it was true. You know, because sometimes, you know, things like that happening could create disbelief. And I wholeheartedly understand. But let's just go ahead and run it back. Just make sure we saw what we saw.
This is what I'm talking about. 君のことは親友だと思っているが、やるしかないようだな。
ビブラニウムのシールドだけでは私のアーマーには勝てないぞ。
Arc system as a system and body of it. Captain America, that was the mix up. And Iron Man and Triple H. And we saw form too.
私の名前の通りマーベラス
I would not deny that some of these people like AI design or variation, and that's fine. It's in the real fighting game.
俺とやり合うってか調子が出てきたぜ
Star-Lord is definitely
俺様の名はスターロード胸に刻んでおきだ
Ghost Rider, that And it's all Marvel.
援護する風よ荒れ狂えたとえ人々に嫌われていても私は世界を守るさあ耐えられるかしら
Storm out here, Crazy.
正義のためにこれが私のとっておきだこっちだよ全てをやっ尽くすよ
抱かれなさいせや
またなベイビー。
我々のチームワークは絶対に破れない
マーベル闘魂ファイティングソウルズ
Oh my god.
プレイステーション
I'm sorry. I had to look at it again. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Next year. We got a whole year before that game comes out. There's going to be tons of questions. Hey, you guys pulled me back into the game with Marvel Rivals. I have fun with that on occasion. Adam Warlock, I'm good at healing. That I know for a fact. Hopefully they'll give Adam Warlock a decent costume and not just one from the movie. But it's not a fighting game. This is a fighting game. There is no question that Marvel's Capcom has a 30-year legacy that has transcended space and time. No question about it. So now we're at one of the most amazing points in history. And it's the fusion of two great things. Here's what happened. Here's why Marvel's Capcom is dead. Marvel clearly got tired of spending money for a subpar product. I think they went to France they were using some kind of French company to deal with 3, and then it was a watered down version of Infinite, which was 4, and it was a hot mess. And because of that hot mess, Marvel reevaluated what it was doing. Now here's the thing. Look, out of all the L's that Marvel has been taking right now, they need at least one W. That is for sure. And if this is their only W, because clearly the movies are garbage. The movies are going to be just hot garbage. Marvel just said, hey, look, Japan, you've been making headlines. You've been lighting up the streets. You've been tearing up, beating us in comics. So again, just like when competition is healthy, you also have to know when to have a collaboration. That is something that needs to be reiterated over and over and over and over and over again, especially for some of these old guys that refuse to admit that Japan has put out some amazing stuff. May not like the art style and stuff like that, but the success is real. At some point, you gotta acquiesce. At some point, hey, I have no problem admitting when, somebody's better than me at something. No problem. If someone admits that I'm pretty good at something as well, hey, I take it as a compliment. I don't just run off and, I'm the man, I'm the greatest of all time, and you should bow down. No. And look at how Japan is. If you watch it behind the scenes, they are so humble when they talk about this. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do that. I'll be drawing while I listen to this, because we want to see the difference between how American company takes on a task versus how Arc Systems, which is a Japanese company, takes on a task to reinvent. And this is a hard reset. This is definitely the next generation, a new phase of uh, fighting games. I can't even say Capcom fighting games anymore, of just a Marvel fighting games. This is a whole new iteration because Capcom dropped the ball. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They want to focus on, Monster Hunter and stuff like that, which is great. That's where the revenue is at for them. More power to them. More power to them. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. If you're serious about what it is you're trying to put out, you got to put your heart in it. You got to put your soul into it. You got to put some hair, some nails, some blood, sweat, and tears, all that good stuff into it. If you're truly passionate. And clearly we could tell at Capcom, they had their foot out the door. They were on their way out when it came to this concept. And wow. We see what a few months, well, possibly a couple years, has what direction it's actually taken Arc Systems and the Marvel brand right there. Right now, based on that trailer, I'm not saying Marvel can do no wrong. Right now, Arc Systems has just shook the world and told them to take notes. If I don't take note, if the stubborn, staunch, old school guys don't take notes, then get left behind. That's the best way I can put it. Get left behind, because things are moving forward. And if you're not willing to accept the fact that things are moving forward, especially for the better, you can sit back and boast and say, hey, well, they don't know what this is and that is, and they're not a real fan and all that. But hey, if they're spending them dollars, and this game, or like that game right there, they talked about, one company was talking about, hey, spend $100, right? Spend $100 for a game. I'm not spending $100 for an average game. I'm spending $100 for a game that's the best that my money can buy. And based on that trailer right there, hopefully, I hope they don't do this. Hopefully, they have it for what, $69.99 or $59.99, however much the average price of a base game is 90 days. But if they do, I'll fork over the $100 for Marvel Tōken Fighting Souls. No question. The Korean-based company that made Marvel Rivals, free. That was a smart move. Free. Absolutely free. And I had no problem buying some of the content. Content that I might like. So that's the key thing. It's not that a person is not this or that to meet a certain criteria of approval to be accepted as a person. Are they willing to pay for it? That's what it all comes down to. We can do semantical argument after semantical argument all day long, if such a word does exist. But at the end of the day, what are you willing to pay for entertainment? Is there entertainment worth paying for? That game right there is worth paying for. So before I get on to my rant, again, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Marvel's Capcom. You had a good run. So now we can go ahead and release. Now we know, even if it was 50 characters in that game, all Marvel characters, that's even better. That's even better than what Marvel's Capcom Infinite was offering. 2-on-2 and all that stuff. Man, get out of here with that. If you're not moving forward, you're going backwards, because people are leaving you behind. How you like that? All right, so let's go ahead and look into this. Sorry, I'm really ecstatic. I'm really hyped because this is history in the making, and I had to talk about this tonight. Very, very, very big point. Very big point. All right. Let's see. We're gonna switch to. Man, I cannot believe that game is coming out. It looks beautiful. The backgrounds, everything. You can knock people into the background, knock down a bunch of poles. Oh, it was amazing. All right. This is like
プレイステーションの友人から急になんか飲みに行こうぜっていう連絡が来て、なんのこっちゃと思って、
this is amazing.
予定合わせて行ったんですけど、ちょっと飲んでる中で実はアークの方でマーベルの格闘ゲームを作ってみないかというような提案をいただきまして、
So we knew something was
いや本当に
coming
聞いた
back.
時はびっくりしましたね。で、世界的に本当に有名な IP ですし光栄だなと思いつつも、まず本当にうちの会社で大丈夫かなという不安もあり、
風よ荒れ狂う
正義のためにこれが私のこりゃ
The inspiration for working on this project really came from a place of pure fandom and wanting to say, why isn't PlayStation in this space?
So PlayStation approached us with this vision
They
to
needed
bring Marvel back to the forefront of the tag fighting genre.
They knew they
And
needed it.
that got us really excited because we had worked with them before on successful stuff like the Marvel Spider-Man franchise with Insomniac.
When it came to approaching Marvel, you have to kind of first float the idea and let them know, hey, we're thinking about approaching a company like Arc System Works to make a fighting game. We'd love to partner with you to do this really great collaboration. Would you be interested?
When they named the developer, that really perked up our ears. It's always refreshing to work with a team that will take on the challenge of tackling Marvel, putting their own spin on it, and they're just uppercutting that challenge into the stratosphere. And that's what you get with this team. I mean, they couldn't make something boring if they tried.
社長からも本当に作れるんだったらぜひやりたいねっていうことを言われました。話を受けてしまった以上、これは私がプロデューサーなのかなっていうところで、
The tricky thing is that most fans
だったらぜひ
the stratosphere, and that's what you get with this team. I mean, they couldn't make something boring if they tried.
社長からも本当に作れるんだったら
boring if they tried. You know what that? You know to have that kind of moniker says? That is so deep. That is so deep with the amount of talent and stuff that Arc Systems has produced and what they put together. Absolutely amazing. I would love to have that kind of accolade and be able to back it up. I couldn't make something boring if I tried. That would be nuts. Arc Systems is doing it. They surpassed Capcom. This officially proved that Capcom is falling to the wayside. They're gonna have to figure it out. I guess if they want to move away from fighting games, they can. But to let this one go, And the proving grounds was Marvel's Capcom Infinite versus Dragon Ball FighterZ. And Dragon Ball FighterZ is infinitely 10 times more, infinitely more than that. Freaking more fun, more exciting, more hype, more energetic than Marvel's Capcom Infinite. Hands down. I can't hammer that more into the minds and drive it home more than that. That's as real as it gets. And again, as a fighting game fan, had no idea when there would be another Marvel's Capcom or anything like that, but let's just drop the Capcom entirely. You know what I'm saying? Now, I imagine with this game, they're probably going to have a Guilty Gear character cameo. Why not, hell, throw in a Dragon Ball FighterZ cameo character? That would be interesting. And not too hard to translate. You know what I'm saying? Since it's already Arc Systems. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's slow down.
ぜひやりたいねっていうことを言われました。話を受けてしまった以上、これは私がプロデューサーなのかなっていうところで。
The tricky thing is that most fans, including myself, see this as a sacred genre for Marvel. The tough part is finding a partner that...
A sacred genre. That's what fighting games are. Because not everybody can play them. Well, anybody can play them if they wanted to. But you're not guaranteed to win. That is the cruel mistress of fighting games. If you're good at it, you gotta keep practicing. There's always somebody better. I mean, look at the tournaments, and we just had Evo, which I wish this was announced at Evo, but so be it. So be it. You know, it's already going to be one of the top anticipated games that's going to be Evo once it is released. Hopefully before the next Evo, but we'll see. We'll see. This is crazy. But yeah, it is. And again, fighting games were such a specific niche back in the 90s and early 2000s that if you couldn't play them, that's why they made first-person shooters so much more popular. Yeah, go over there with the FPSs, because if you couldn't process being able to strategize and defend using the move sets that you got in the characters and the team that you have and all that, yeah, you're gonna lose. And depending on how bad you lose, you never want to play the game again. Even in the arcade days, I've literally played like X-Men Children of the Atom and beat somebody so bad. It was their first 2 tokens in there, first 2 coins. And they came in and played me, and I beat them so bad. They took the loss and just walked out the arcade and walked out the mall. That was it. That was it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but I've had my moments which were fun. We've seen, tournaments and, with Daigo and Justin Wong and all those guys produce some pretty high-level octane matches and wins that I could never hope to match. But the sheer love of fighting games, and that's why I watch it on Twitch. I can never stop watching fighting games because that competitive fire is still kind of within me. I just know I don't have that much time to play them as much as I would love to. But I do like to play them.
That's crazy enough to take on the task, because you either do something like this big and bold or you don't do it at all.
Right.
I feel like I have a good grasp on their art style and how they would approach certain IPs. You come in with your kind of own expectations of, here's what I would expect to see from Arc System Works when they take on a Marvel IP. And what came up was something that went beyond that.
In your face back.
一番最初にマーベルさんに提出した時はなんとなくマイケルさんの反応はあんまり芳しくなかった印象があって、何がまずいのかなっていろいろやっぱり直接話していくうちにもっとアークのやりたいマーベルを見せてくれというような話をいただいたことがあって。
I remember personally the first time I saw Iron Man was really when I felt we had something special.
なので今回のアイアンマンのデザインを皆さんご覧いただければ分かると思うんですけども、かなり日本らしいアークシステムワークスらしいデザインっていうのが、出ているかなと思うので、マーベルの皆さんの反応がすこぶる良くて、あ、これなんだみたいないう感じで。
Iron Man is supposed to be this sleek fighter jet, think luxury race car mixed with a brick house. And the fact that they added anime mech elements to him just felt really naturally at home.
Right.
One of the mantras that we have for this project is from Japan to the world, and really trying to take not just the IP but gameplay mechanics and say, what can we really take from Japan, the creators that are doing awesome work here, and bring that to the global platform.
特別なところいっぱいあるんですけど、本当にやっぱり強調すべき。
Bro, this is one of the reasons why I ask this question quite often. How many ways, how many times, how many occasions, and how many breakthroughs does Japan have to carry America to when it comes to entertainment? It's crazy. Like the amount of effort and stuff that the Japanese put into their forms of entertainment is like, it's like another level of intelligence and consciousness. And they put it into it so well where it's, it's not from America. Well, I mean, the IPs are, but the way things look, the designs, the intricacies, the details, that extra finesse. It's like the difference between going to McDonald's and going to Texas State, Brazil. Unfortunately, or it's like going from McDonald's to like a Japanese steakhouse. There is a clear difference, you know? And that's one thing I admire. The Japanese have prided themselves on pushing the envelope. Look at it in the background here. We got Dazzler, a Dazzler poster, Dazzler disco something. Is she gonna be in the game? Oh, please give me Adam Warlock in this game. Please give me Adam Warlock in this game. Oh yes. If you give me Adam Warlock, a good one, like the real deal, I don't care about movie skins, alternate costumes are fun, but give me Adam Warlock in this game, and you will have a destiny fulfilled on my behalf. I have wanted Adam Warlock in a fighting game forever. Here's the next question. Are they taking submission ideas on characters? Again, give me Adam Warlock in this game. Please do. Oh yes. Staff or no staff. Soul Stone, I'll take that and have it specifically to him. Just give me the character. I know you'll do great. This is about to be an epic and legendary moment. I can't stress this enough. If you don't play fighting games, hey, I get it. Nobody wins them all. So moving on.
は格闘ゲームのチームバトルの中では4対4というのがまず本当に意欲的で挑戦的なところだというところと
When Ark looks at these Marvel characters, it's not simply just the visuals, it's also the gameplay mechanics and adding in that what is that pop? What is going to be something that's different? Up until now, you've seen tag fighters that have 2v2, 3v3. We felt like we just had to go 4v4. And in doing so, we found a lot of unique and fun ways to change up the gameplay that I think players are going to be very excited to see.
今回4対4という革新的なところにチャレンジしている中で4キャラクター練習しないと勝てないんじゃないのとか安心してください。
Learning 4 characters is extremely daunting, but the team at Arc System Works has found a way to design a system that adapts to your playstyle. So you can either duke it out as just the leader.
Spider-Man actually has a move in here called Spidey Sense. Let that sink in. It's so simple, but let that sink in. I love the suit. It looks like the one from Insomniac. So with their hand involved in this, I think this is a great combination. Let's continue, because I could talk about this for 24 hours straight, because it's groundbreaking. For the first time in the history of fighting games, Marvel has chose another company to do its fighting games besides Capcom. I get it, at some point Acclaim was a publisher of Children of Atom, but it was basically a Capcom fighting game. They took the mechanics from Street Fighter, translated over to X-Men Children of Atom, expanded upon it. Great game. I actually played it last night because I got the Marvel collections. The last thing to come out of Capcom. You had a great run for fighting games. People were guessing that, is there going to be a Marvel's Capcom and then this game as well? I don't see it happening. We just had the funeral and memorial of
leader and 3 assists, or you can tag in your assist to swap the leader and change the matchup on the fly.
I don't think a lot of people thought this day would be here, would come. This has just been an awesome journey, and I'm excited that we get to be able to share it with all the fans out there.
I'll tell you right now, a lot of fighting games, they never get to experience this level of production, and it's just a dream to even be working with these two great partners.
それは決してビジネスという枠組みではなくて、それぞれの強い思いの中でこのタイトルを成功させよう、いいゲームにしてファンに届けようと。
The 3 companies have come together to do this, and I think we really are going to make something magical here.
このタイトルですね、まだまだ開発途中ではありますが、続々とキャラクターも発表していきたいと思いますし、キャラクター以外のコンテンツというところも今後いろいろ出ていくと思います。今しばらく楽しみにお待ちいただければなと思います。Stay tuned.
That's some history in the making, and it's only going to be on PlayStation and PC. That is how you defeat Xbox, by the way. I never got an Xbox. Well, I've been one of the most staunch anti-Xbox people of all time. All I've ever gotten was PlayStation. You know, as far as like the current gen. I wanted 64, but I got a Super NES. You know, I had to stick with that. I got a Sega Genesis prior to that. And Nintendo, you know, was the end-all be-all for its time. But, dude, that is a wrap. It's over. It's over. So I need to go ahead and switch to some other things. All right, so the Death of Marvel vs. Capcom, we covered that. This new Marvel Tōken Fighting Souls looks phenomenal. I didn't know 3 companies brought it together. So we are beyond the halfway point, and that's fine. That's fine. Let it ride. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to cover James Gunn. We're going to cover no more Truth, Justice, the American Way. That has been changed and altered once again. And we're going to cover White Black Panther after this break. So go ahead and grab your favorite drink, beverage, kick back and relax, or get a refill. And we will continue this special late night edition of Sal, Strictly Art Live, number 80, with me, your host, Rob Wilson. Here we are, and welcome back. Now, with this portion of the show, wow, we're going to go ahead and continue with the show, and I'm going to go ahead, before I even get started, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Tyrone Magnus for this next portion, which I'm about to cover. This is his content. I'm giving him props, and I'm providing fair use commentary for this portion. Also, by the way, I am currently working on this commission piece for an old buddy of mine. We used to work together, and we caught back up because he managed to see my clips from my live streams. I don't know whether it was Instagram or TikTok. But I am thankful for the amount of traffic that I'm getting, the amount of traction that it is producing as well. Attention, eyeballs, people getting a chance to see them, whether they like it or not, or disagree, or have, little small debates in regards to their viewpoint. And I share my viewpoint too, because that's one thing. If someone's genuinely asking me about something that they disagree with, I'll talk to them. No problem. We can have a conversation in good faith, and that's it. I may disagree with them, they may, or I may agree with them and give them their, props, credit, all that good stuff. So before I start ranting and raving, but this piece I'm working on is the El Salvadorian flag, but I'm adding some other features because he wants like a tribute to kind of like DC, or kind of like the DC flag. So I'm having some fun with this. I'm also learning that the El Salvadorian flag is very complex. It has a lot of themes in it. So that's what I'm working on behind the scenes. But yeah, shout out to Tyrone Magnus for this quick segment. I'm going to go ahead and provide some commentary off of it.
Hey, it's time to play Piss the Fans Off again.
Oh yeah, by the way, check out his channel too. He's awesome.
Show them what they've won, Bob. So, James Gunn Superman done pissed people off again. He done got the fans saying, that ain't the damn saying, son. So, this Superman will no longer say, I'm here for truth, justice, and the American way. He'll no longer say that. Excuse me. Before I read this article, I just have to say, even as a kid.
So, just for the record, when the upcoming movie at the time, Superman Returns, was getting ready to come out, it was actually all over the news. It was kind of a big thing where Perry had mentioned, they had said the same thing, Superman's dropping the American way aspect, because that's what he's been known for saying in the past. And they showed a clip where Perry at the Daily Planet says, let's see if he stands for truth, justice, all that sort of thing. So they kind of grazed over it. But it was still, big news for its time, because that's what people were used to hearing. So James Gunn doing this is a continuation of whatever the heck he's doing. I don't know what this guy's doing anymore. I guess he's trying to find a way to how to burn down the brand, That's what it looks like to me. And what sinister plot could it possibly be? This is just my personal opinion, that if the purpose of all of this is to devalue both companies, so they have no choice but to work together and give us Marvel versus DC, like a movie. I know that's highly unlikely, but we just talked about something that was highly unlikely, and it just happened. So that's how I'm gonna leave it. Just my opinion. I'm not gonna say that's going to happen, but we do know that Marvel's Capcom can rest in peace.
Kid though, even as a kid, when I saw the movie, I remembered him saying that. And I personally remembered thinking that sounded a little strange. Because as a kid, I'm like, well, doesn't Superman save people all around the world? I don't understand why he's saying in the American way. I thought it was weird as a child to hear that. And as a child, I didn't know that, the Superman character, just like Captain America, at times had been used politically. I just didn't know that. So I thought it was weird. Of course, when I got older, totally made sense, because of course he was used in that way at different times. However, this new saying sounds strange too. And I'd heard about this being changed in the comic books. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, and fans were talking about it then. And what comes as no surprise, James Gunn's Superman ditches the classic and traditional model of the Man of Steel, replacing the American way with the more politically correct, the human way.
Yeah, that's foolishness.
It does sound weird.
That is foolishness.
Like, when they...
the simple concept that Clark Kent, aka Superman, had parents. Hey, what's going on, Ray Haylock? Shout out to you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you've been doing well. Good to see you. One of the key things is that Superman was born on Krypton, but he landed in Kansas, which is America. So he was raised with American values. That's the simple concept of it. It shouldn't be overly thought of. Like, if Superman was born in Japan, well, people get mad that he would stand for truth, justice in the Japanese way. I mean, that would be if that was Japan's motto. I don't see a problem with it because he was born in Japan. Same thing with here. What do you want him to say? Lethal gamers. Hey, it's oh shit! Look out! It's a setup. It's a setup. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for dropping by on Twitch. You're probably like the only other person on there that on there like myself. But yeah, look out! It's a setup. But yeah, it should be that simple. Superman was born in Kansas. What do you want him to say? Truth, justice in the Kansas way? I mean, come on, man. Truth, justice the Kryptonian way? Look, it was a classic saying. It was a classic quote that doesn't need to be altered. It's that simple. Keep Superman classic. No need to keep changing stuff as the comic books have. And change is not always for the better. So it helps to have certain pillars stay the same. So, hey, Levi Skiing, what's up, man? Welcome, welcome. The definition of American way of life: liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Right, exactly. So that's one of the things that it's so simple. It should be like a no-brainer. But for some reason, we got to reinvent the wheel and do a whole bunch of nonsense and hurdles that waste time and cost money. He should have just left that alone because he's got more problems to worry about in his movie than some daggone, a quote like that. So it's just like, come on, man, what are you doing, you know?
They have their interview. Is he going to say that? Is he, I'm here for truth, justice, and the human way? It sounds really weird. I don't think they did that in the comics, though, did they? When they changed it, wasn't it something else? And for like world, like humanity around the world, or something, I could have swore it was something else.
Yeah, I only remember
the phrase "truth, justice, and the American way" was first popularized during the 1940s. In the Adventures of Superman radio show. It became iconic with the 1950s Superman TV series starring George Reeves. Sorry, my lips are dry. It's a long time been associated with the Man of Steel. However, similar to Gunn, Bryan Singer also dropped the line in the 2006 Superman Returns movie.
Right.
I haven't seen it that many times, but I was remembering it.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, that's what I was saying earlier. They would do that. Perry would say, literally, to find out, because he was gone, he went to another planet to try to find some remnants of Krypton. Which there was a short story in the video game that they should have followed on, because when he went away, he actually landed on Mongo's Battle World. And in the Superman Returns video game, you had to fight your way out of that. So that could have been a great segue had that series continued, but it never did. He had like a silver suit too, which was cool, for when he was in the spaceship. But yeah, and when he came back, that's what they were asking. The news outlets were trying to get all the buzzworthy stuff, find out if he done this, has he done that, did he lose weight, what's he been eating, why has he been away all this time, and does he still stand for truth, justice, all that sort of thing. And that's kind of how they glazed over it then. Which, I said glazed. Pause. No diddy. Which was still kind of acknowledging the quote, but was specifically to kind of like slight the American way, which is, I think it's a good thing. So many people have enjoyed it. Why take it away?
From 1978. Official Superman movie merchandise featuring David Cornsweet as Superman features a description on the box and replaces the American way with the human way. Quote, Superman must reconcile his alien Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing, as reported.
I got a news flash for y'all. This is where I break a little bit away from fiction. I honestly don't believe that everybody that's walking this earth that looks human is actually human. I'm gonna leave that at that.
Reporter Clark Kent as the embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way. He soon finds himself in a world that views these as old-fashioned. Worth a mention is that James Gunn has previously said he approves all the toys and such. So this likely comes straight from Gunn, which lines up with the reports that Gunn's Superman movie is more of a take on modern politics.
Let me say this. James Gunn will approve anything that has his name on it. That's how bolsterous the guy is. Like, hey, James Gunn, we're going to sell this pile of crap. It's got your name on it. You're like, yeah, looks good to me. It's got my name on it. That's all that matters. Clearly, because that's what he's giving us in the shape of this Superman movie. And this bobblehead that looks terrible. But whatever. I digress.
Than a superhero story. I wouldn't have changed it. I just would have left it out if I didn't want to get into any political crosshairs. However, in changing that, he has done that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I would want as little backlash as possible for my movie coming out. I would have never said nothing to it. It just wouldn't have been in there. It wasn't in Man of Steel, right? Yeah, I remember it being in Man of Steel. It was a great movie. Footage also features Superman getting mad at Lois Lane when she calls him out for getting involved in politics. Of course, the trailer also features Americans mad and upset and throwing cans at Superman's head. Reports claim Gunn has laced Superman with political jabs.
Y'all hear me? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. I hope my mic wasn't on mute the whole time. What the hell? But no, that was just my little thing. You're throwing cans at his head because he's from Kansas. Terrible joke. I get it. Moving on.
Including Lex's mutant troll monkey army, meant to outrage lowly humans. A storyline involving fake news, and even jokes on mocking the Snyder Cut. What remains to be seen is how much of it will make its way into the final cut. A recent report has said that James Gunn Superman has undergone a course.
So my mic was off. Levi? Damn. I don't know how that went to auto mute. It might have been down for a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know how that happened. Let me make sure. Oh, it's. And for some reason, the microphone randomly disconnects from the computer, and it goes to default to the MacBook Pro microphone, but it mutes it in the process. Oh, hold up. What are you saying? Are we catching up? Oh, okay, seems like it. I've heard Levi Skeen said, seems like it. Lethal Games said, I've heard you the whole time. It might have been down for a minute. He said, okay, all right. But yeah, that like I said, James Gunn is the type of guy. It said, Levi said, you fade out, then you're back strong. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just went out. It's acting weird. And make sure everything's properly connected. But yeah, James Gunn's the type of dude where if it has his name on it, he'll approve it, even if it's crap. So that's his MO. Terrible.
Correction. Like is to be said that Warner Bros. Has a lot riding on this. Yes, you damn right it does. Well, okay. Well, it is what it is with this. Tell me what you think about this. Do you care? Do you not care? I would.
So yeah, that was Tyrone Magnus. Be sure to stop by his channel. I've been following him across 2 YouTube channels that I've had. The previous one is so banned. If I made a video, it would automatically be hidden from the public on there, which is why I have my art channel. That's just on YouTube. But yeah, I've followed and listened to Tyrone Magnus many a year. I think like going back to like 2008, 2011, somewhere around there. So it was he's got some good stuff, good commentary. I kind of rely on cats like him to provide some insight beyond just what's mainly being expressed, and I think it helps. I think it helps to get perspective, because I mean, the news is going to put a spin on most of the stuff anyway. So YouTubers and people on social media are the new news. So we got one more video to talk about, and then that'll wrap up tonight's show, the late night Tonight Show. We're almost tiptoeing into midnight as well, so let's keep it rolling. Let's see here. This right here is a trip. Way too funny. Yep.
They actually did it.
The white sign. Ketama was like ketamine.
Okay. For those of you that are not in the know,
Ketamine, the White Panther. Ketama. This is crazy. I can't do nothing but laugh. But I mean, this is why I don't buy like mainstream Marvel comics at all. The most mainstream comics I'll buy is Spawn. That's it. All this other stuff is just for the birds, man. I remember when I used to do just a audio podcast with another guy. We were talking about comics of the week and stuff like that. And it was some work, because I had to actually, buy books. I had to be at the shop every week, get new stuff, read them. And I had more time then to read them and talk about what was in them and what I recommend. And him as well, Big Daddy Cosplay. Shout out to him. And I told him one time we were talking about the new Avengers with Hulkling and Wiccan and Sunfire, Was Rogue in it? I can't remember if Rogue was in it, but they had like all these other cast of characters in it, and I followed it for like 12 issues straight. It seemed pretty decent. I like the artwork and all that. I think Squirrel Girl was in it too. Yuck. But it got to some kind of Cthulhu arc where there was like some creature from the galaxy using magic that looked like Cthulhu, but he was like regular size. He could possess any superhero using powers, so on and so forth. Which he ended up getting the Wiccan. The Wiccan got possessed, and they kind of like pulled the Sentry and was like, "Fight it! You're stronger than this. We care about you." XYZ. He overcomes it. The team defeats the character. I think his name was Abyss or something like that. And after they defeated the character, like the last page was like literally Hulkling and Levi said, he said, is this updating? Levi said, "Is this a joke?" I wish it was, sir, but it is real. It is unfortunately real. But yeah, when Wiccan and Hulkling, they started lip locking, I was like, what am I reading? I'm not paying for this ever again. That was my downhill towards getting away from buying mainstream comics. And if you want to read them, you like them, that's cool. It's entirely up to you. That's your prerogative, and your choice of how you spend your money. I'm not doing it, And after a while, for me, it didn't make any sense to cover any of it because it's foolishness. It's not what I was buying and reading comics for. So this is another proof why I don't buy like Marvel or DC comics anymore. Out of anything else, if I find them, the only Marvel comics I buy are Jim Lee, X-Men, 1990s run, which I've been reading again, to kind of like see how things were back then, to produce, good work on my behalf today. But yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not. Why he looks like Wyatt Russell too, like Kurt Russell's son, the one that plays U.S. Agent in The Thunderbolts.
You're out of the woke loop. One of the jokes, the ongoing, continuous jokes about them race swapping all of these characters. They keep race swapping every white, red-haired character to be black. Like that makes a difference. Like that virtue signaling makes anything better. It doesn't, because the fans want the characters that they fell in love with all these years on the pages of the comic books. Okay? We are sick and tired of you race swapping, gender swapping, sexuality swapping, and everything else in between. However, one of the jokes that I've seen so many times till I'm blue in the face, I'm just tired of saying it, is, can't wait till they cast Ryan Gosling as Black Panther. And what it is it's people talking about how much they're so irritated with switching to white characters, but they refuse.
Levi Skeen said, "Who's the mom?" Good question. Very good question. I wonder, is he is the mother Natasha Romanoff? I know he spent some time with her, but like, hey, the Black Panther been getting busy in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? He been getting busy. Like John Witherspoon. Bang, 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 bang.
To change anyone that's a person of color to white. Well, they said, watch us. And they just did it. Mm-hmm. So many outlets are talking about it, I didn't know which one to pick.
Overcorrection.
So I just clicked on Bounding into Comics. And here you have it, folks. Marvel Comics introduces T'Challa's white son, Katema, as future Black Panther and King of Wakanda.
Katema.
In a move that is sure to cause the exact explosion of discourse it was intended to. See, Marvel Comics has kicked off their latest visit to their Marvel Knights imprint with the revelation that at some point in the near future of Earth 616, T'Challa will find himself challenged for both Wakandan throne and the Black Panther.
Wait a minute. So they said it's on Earth 616. So this is the main universe, right? So this is about to be canon. Hey, who's playing ketamine in the next Black Panther movie? Wait a minute. If they do bring back Black Panther, is he gonna be white in Doomsday? Please. Is that where this is going? So they introduce Black Panther now, or White Panther, whatever the heck his name is. They introduce him now in the comics. Are they getting ready to introduce him in the MCU? I'm sorry. This is going to be hilarious.
By his heir apparent, his blonde-haired, white-skinned son, Katema. I done seen it all now.
Oh yeah, it's on.
I've done seen it all. Unbelievable as it may seem, this twist to Wakanda's canon was confirmed in the debut issue of Christopher Priest and Joe Quesada's new Marvel Knights, the World to Come miniseries. The latest title in the Marvel Knights imprint was originally created by Quesada. I want to say Quesadilla the way it's. But to denote those books that were a bit too edgy for publishers' general audience, the World to Come flings readers into the near future of Marvel's universe to find a Wakanda embroiled.
Honestly, and with this character, Levi said Monica Linney is listed as his mom. I wonder if she superpowered. We'll find out. But you know what? See, they should have made him look like Geese Howard. Like Geese Howard got the super slick back hair on the top. He's got the fade on the side. Like making Black Panther great again.
In political unrest
for days
as
with this.
The new resistance group known as the Aquamarines wages an ongoing coup attempt against the country's traditional ruling regime. As to how the world's most advanced nation found itself in such a state of disarray, it is soon revealed that the heart-shaped dominoes began to fall when its current king T'Challa is met with a formal combat challenge for the throne by son Katema, a formidable masked warrior who has found himself up with his father's indifference in his people's autonomy. Though he easily proves himself the more competent warrior, of course, T'Challa finds himself unable to bring the challenge to an end, as thanks to his son's adamant refusal to voluntary surrender, the only way to do so would require him to outright kill Katema, mistaking his father's mercy as patronization.
I just
Katema
looked this up.
ultimately
Yo, I just looked this up at the same time you were messaging this. Yeah, I'm looking at Earth 616. She's got brown eyes, black hair, origin human, birthplace Georgia, living status alive. Now, is this guy secretly a product of Mr. Sinister? Is that how he came out as the White Panther, the White Black Panther? Is that how he came out looking like Wyatt Russell? Was there some genetic manipulation going on there? I wonder.
Brings to a close.
Well, so they're ignoring their own origin, their own, and it's in the marvel.fandom.com, Marvel database. How did they miss that? And it's Earth 616. It states her reality is 616. She's alive. She's human. Black hair, brown eyes, female, single. And this guy popped out. This guy. How? I have questions. Please explain. Can somebody please tell me? How does a guy come out looking like this from two black parents? Maybe he's albino. I don't know, dude. This is crazy. The plot really thickens. Either the writers did not look at the source material properly, or they just said, just go with it. Nobody's going to find out. Just make it happen. Just run with it. Just run with it. This is hilarious.
After he flies into a rage and doing so, taking his father by surprise and dropping him with a brutal 3-hit combo. Hitting with the bink, bink, boom. The 2-piece and a biscuit. T'Challa is dropped.
Drop with
and
the
T'Challa's hairline is back here. God damn! With T'Challa unable to stand, Katema turns to the elders of Wakanda and formally declares himself the country's new top cat. I see what you did there. Panther, cat, I saw what you did. Proclaiming, I am now the new king! Wakanda is mine, father! The new Black Panther proceeds to remove his mask and reveal himself to be a white man! And much to their surprise, rather than a black-skinned African, T'Challa's son sports a far paler skin and blonder hair than his fellow countrymen.
This is crazy.
Who did he hit off to get a white child? Current outside existence, Katema's background, notably divorced from Storm.
Monica.
Given Katema's complexion, it seems unlikely that Monica. Okay, I don't know who the mother is. I guess they'll reveal that later. I'm kind of skimming through this.
Let me look again.
Yet to be introduced woman or an orphan adopted and brought into his legacy, a la Batman and Robin. Okay.
That's
interesting.
Crazy.
Well,
dang.
It's all been done now. It's all been done. So it is what it is, folks. Tell me what you think.
It actually happened.
I don't care.
It actually happened. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe this? How in the world do we have how in the world do we have a white Black Panther? Oh, I can't wait to get back to work now. I want to clown some folks. I'm about to clown some folks. I'm going to be like, yep, we are officially in Clown Town. How is this possible? I got to do it. It's my responsibility. As an ex-Marvel fan, it is my duty and responsibility to spread this news far and wide for both old and young, tall and short, to know now there is a white Black Panther. Ketamine. How did we get here? Hey, well, it's a joyous time to be alive. That's all I can say. All right, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call it. This has been a very interesting late night show. And I thank you all for joining me, even tiptoeing over midnight tonight. And yeah, we're going to continue this thing. I will probably see you guys next week. I knew I was going to do a show this week. I just had to figure out the right time. And sometimes I can't plan it ahead with all the stuff I got going on. And plus, I got to strike when the iron's hot. There was just too much stuff coming off the heels of the madness combination of things that we covered. So that's it. Next week, we'll get back to My Hero Academia, Vigilantes. I'll be drawing some more stuff, and hopefully I'll have most of this done as well. And yeah, I'd like to thank Levi. Said later, man. Good show. Thank you very much. Thank you, Levi. Thank you, Ray Haylock. Thank you, Super Killer Gamer. No, I'm kidding. Lethal Gamers. Remember, I'm going to start adding this to my show just because you showed up this time, man. Remember to hug the one you love, treat them close, as if every day was your last, and avoid the setups, all right? I'm Rob Wilson. Thank you for joining me for Strictly Art Live number 80, and you have a good one, all right? Peace.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.